Space Quest by two guys from Andromedia Incorporated, 1998 Sierra Online Incorporated version 2.0 F. Chapter 2. Vohaul's Revenge. Designed by Mark Crow and Scott Murphy. Game development system by Jeff Stephenson, Chris Iden and Robert Heitman. Programmed by Scott Murphy. Graphics by Mark Crow. As you will recall in our last chapter, you had just foiled the Syrians' fiendish plot to rule the galaxy by using the star generator as their weapon of destruction. You became a hero by saving countless lives and returning the star generator technology into the safe hands. Life was beautiful. But heroes come and go, and people soon forget your celebrated herodom slowly fades, leaving you once again a janitor. The promotion to head janitor was no consolation, especially since you're the only member of the janitorial staff. Nor was the transfer to Orbital Station 4, sweating like a pork beast in a pressure suit while relocating space debris in zero gravity, just wasn't your idea of a good time. Life sucks again. Place: Xenon Orbital Station 4. Orbital Station 4 is one of the many orbiting Xenon, your home planet. It is a transfer point for travelers seeking transportation to the various planets in the Aeron system. As we begin this chapter of your story, we find you, Roger, Ace Janitor, doing what you do best. A beep emanates from your wristwatch. You release your grip on the broom. The broom floats away, never to be used again. That makes the third one this week. Wait till your boss finds out. Look, watch. See. Roger, get in here on the double. You've got a mess to clean up in the shuttle which just returned. One of the passengers got space sick on the way down. Besides, you should have been down out there an hour ago. Get a move on. With that, the image disappears. You are whisked away to the airlock chamber. Stand by for decontamination. Change clothes. Open locker. Get all. Okay. Close locker. It's about time you got in here, Roger. Head down to the shuttle bay on the double. I'm warning you, you're on your last leg around here, bud. One more screw-up in your history. He then orders the transportation officer to send you directly to the shuttle bay and nowhere else until the job has been completed. You enter the shuttle and start sniffing around for the mess you must clean. You are surprised to find that the shuttle is not empty. There are two extremely ugly suckers walking toward you. Hey, what the? Your favorite expletive here. Pow! Thwack! Bink! Thud! Your protest is cut short as two interstellar ruffians proceed to thump you unconscious. Everything fades. Time passes. More time passes. A strange dream turns into a realization that you are being shaken and talked to by a voice unfamiliar to you. A dull ache triggers a distant memory, a scuffle in which you were the focal point. Upon awakening from your forced rest, it becomes quite apparent that you aren't in Kansas or Xenon anymore. You find that you are being held upright under physical restraint from both sides, you guess, the galactic goons you met on the shuttle. As you try to struggle free, you notice your hands are tied behind your back. As the eyes dial into focus, you make out an oddly disfigured being seated before you. A sagging mass of flesh that appears to have been human at one time. Tubes and wires extended from his body, leading to machines that keep him alive. Suddenly, his visage turns, and he begins to speak.
Well, did we have a nice nap? Thought you would have to resort to drastic measures to wake you. Oh well. Welcome to my humble fortress, Roger. The name's Vohaul. Slotsville. It's the genius behind the star generator, when it was still in the concept stages. It was to be my ultimate war weapon until some sissy-pants scientists decided it would be better used saving lives rather than destroying them. What a waste of technology. Excuse me if I sound bitter. Anyway, you ruined my Syrian operation. I was going to use the star generator to make my Xenon pay for what they did to me. They were going to know my wrath in a big way. You somehow managed to change all that. Oh, I suppose I should have known better than to use those mental midget Syrians. That's not the point, however. You are responsible and I shall pay. Besides, I have another plan, and you will not be around to foil it. I have devised a plan so horrible, so frightening, so diabolical that no one will be able to stop me. Observe my latest creation. I intend to infest your planet with thousands of these genetically engineered door-to-door life-insured salesmen. I will at last reap sweet revenge from the scientific community that mocked me. My plan was to kill you, but I've had a change of heart. Get it?
He peers down at the hoses protruding from his chest connected to his life support system.
Forgive me, I'm a killer. I have decided I will get much more enjoyment watching you suffer. My associates will escort you to the service of Labion, where you perform many painful hours of manual labor in my mines. Be seeing you.
An injection renders you unconscious. Your dragged carcass is loaded into a shuttle. Upon reviving, you look through the viewing port to see Vohaul's massive asteroid fortress getting smaller. After touching down on a giant landing platform, you are ushered to a hovercraft waiting to transport you to the mining site. Utter despair sets in.
Uh-oh.
Oh, great. I suppose you are out of fuel. Way to go, Gorf.
Don't blame me. It was your turn to fill up. You're always forgetting to do it. Wait till Master finds out. You are in big trouble.
Hey, don't talk back to me that way. You slime bucket. I filled it last time, dip. The argument between the two guards is cut short as gravity reasserts itself. Crash! Good thing that guard broke your fall. He doesn't look too happy about it, though.
Search guard.
You search the grotesque body and find a small, thin magnetic card. It looks like a key card. You seem to recall seeing one somewhere in the past.
Get keycard.
Okay. Suddenly, from somewhere to the east, you hear a twang followed by a high-pitched shriek. You hear something. It sounds not unlike the hovercraft you wrecked in. The foliage here is much too dense for you to pass through. Phew, that was a tense moment. Vol's thug failed to spot you and is off to search elsewhere.
Push button.
You press the button. The light goes dark and you no longer notice the high-pitched beep.
Get spore.
You take possession of one of the spores, being careful not to mistakenly break it open.
Get berries.
You snag some of the odoriferous red berries.
Untie rope.
Before disappearing through a tiny hole in the brush, the little creature gives you a long glance.
Mail order form.
You drop the order form into the box. The mailbox hums and buzzes for a while, and then an object of some sort drops into the tray at the base of the box. The machine goes silent.
Get whistle.
Okay.
Rub berries over body.
You rub the berries all over your body. You now smell like a walking ammonia inhalant.
Yuck.
You feel something slimy clamp down on your leg, almost as suddenly spit you back out. You distinctly hear the sound of an aquatic gagging and retching. Evidently, you had a bad aftertaste from the berries. You have stepped into a deeper area of the swamp, and you are forced to swim. Hold breath. You take a deep breath, filling your lungs to the near bursting, and head to the depths below. Get gem. You take the glowing gem. Hold breath. Once again, you wisely take in a load of air and head below. You have gotten out of the deep spot and you are back on your soggy feet. Climb tree. This tree is dead and seems to be free of all the slick secretions some of the others generate. You begin to shinny your way up the snag. Crack. Oof. Holy logjams, Batman, you almost ate the big one. Yikes, you have been snared. Suspended above the ground, you are unable to move freely. After a while, the cerebral fireworks begin. Capillaries begin to burst under the strain. You pass out. Once again, time passes, and then some more time passes. While unconscious, you have the strangest of dreams. You imagine that your name is Larry and you're wearing something known as a leisure suit, apparently made of 100% synthetic materials proven to generate large amounts of static electricity. While prowling a locale known as the Land of the Lounge Lizards, you spend your time badgering women of the area to participate in bizarre mating rituals such as... Just then, consciousness begins to creep in. Your head begins to clear and you realize that you have been imprisoned. Your captor appears to be the large oaf sitting near the fire. Talk, man. The hunter seems to ignore you. Talk, man. The hunter stands and takes a long look in your direction. His face, though strange in his own right, bears an expression one might see on a freak show patron. He moves closer. Throw a spore. Upon impact the ground, the spore opens and spews its dust into the air. The hunter falls on the ground paralyzed. Get key. You reach through the bars and take possession of the key. Unlock door. You slip the key into the lock and give it a turn. The lock snaps open. Open door. You open the cage door. Get rope. You grab the rope. Climb log. Tie rope around log. Climb rope. Swing. Use gem. You take out the gem and hold it in your palm. The room is illuminated by its glow. You hear a small shriek and the sound of many footsteps moving away from you. The ground below your feet disappears. You tumble down through the darkness. That was a rather spectacular entrance. All systems seem to be intact, though. Get gem. Got it. The dwellers mumble something. The translator responds with,
Follow us, Beanpole.
They hurry away.
Welcome to our canyon. You look to be from out of town. On behalf of all of us, I would like to thank you for saving our compadre from the hunters. You are welcome to stay in the canyon as long as you like. When you are ready to leave, simply say the word and my assistants will show you the only way out for a being of your size. When you leave, however, we must seal the exit behind you for our own protection. Goodbye and good luck. The word. Put gem in mouth.
Ah, better. Not a great deal better, but better. Suddenly an inhuman guttural moan echoes through the narrow caves. You're not sure which direction it came from. The only thing that you do know for sure is that you've just soiled your undergarment. You have an opportunity to stand and spare your tender knees. The crystal clear water gives off a gentle glow. In abundance, it's able to light the room. You take the glowing gem from between your aching jaws and notice it's overly moist as you slip it into your pocket. As you enter another of the mysterious subterranean chambers, you realize that the water is now racing toward a giant whirlpool in the middle of the area. You are caught in a storm current, powerless to alter your course. Your body is sucked down until finally you are able to resist no more and must yield to the overwhelming force. Geez, that was quite a trip. Peering around you, you find yourself back in the open again.
Blow whistle.
You give the whistle a toot. It makes an odd sound. You hear an incredible whirring and grinding sound coming from the north. Suddenly, a Labion terror beast buzzes into the room like a tornado, and it looks like it could do as much damage as one.
Throw cube.
You chuck the Cubics Rube puzzle over to the beast. The beast appears interested in your offering. Curiosity gets the better of him as he reaches down for it. He seems quite perplexed by the puzzling plastic polyhedron.
Get rock.
You pick up a small rock generated during the terror beast's grand entrance.
Sling the rock at the guard.
You cleverly use the athletic supporter to sling the rock at the guard. It makes serious contact with the side of his head. We like the way you think. He drops like a lead parakeet. The ripe thud of impact is momentarily sickening. He is perfectly still.
Search guard.
You find nothing.
Put keycard into slot.
You slide the keycard into the slot, then remove it. As soon as the elevator door closes behind you, the platform on which you rest begins to rise.
Get in.
You open the hatch and head on in.
Push power button. Turn dial.
The attitude dial is now set to VAC.
Press ascent.
The shuttle begins to vibrate as the ascent thrusters ignite. You're off the planet. Good work, Roger. A tone sounds. A soft synthesized voice note. Adequate altitude has been achieved. Ascent thrusters are now ineffective. The monitor draws your attention again.
Turn dial.
The attitude dial is now set to HAC. The screens are suddenly splashed with the incredibly horrible image of Sludge Vohaul.
Hello, Roger. I've been waiting for you. Once again, my subordinates have failed me. Anyway, it looks like you'll be visiting me again soon. Don't bother trying to pilot the vehicle. I've taken control. You will be arriving at my command post shortly. I anxiously await your arrival.
He closes with a chilling laugh. His image is frozen on the screens. The ship changes course as if it had a life of its own. All you can do is hang on. You feel the ship bank. Through the window you see your apparent destination, Vohaul's asteroid. The massive bay doors meet, jarring the entire vehicle bay. As you step down, the shuttle door slams shut behind you. You are quite surprised not to find several of Vohaul's guards waiting to greet you. You begin to ponder what the twisted scientist might have in store for you. 3. You have the funny feeling you're being watched. Push button. Aha! You know a janitorial closet when you smell one. Almost at once a sense of emptiness, a melancholy, a longing. You begin to feel homesick. Look. It's quite dark in here. You do find a plunger, however. Get plunger. Okay. Four. Push button. Look. It's quite dark in here. On the floor you notice a glass cutter. Get cutter. Okay. Push button. Open door. Close door. Use toilet. Okay. You slide your uniform pants down and settle onto the cool ring. You go through whatever motions might be normal for you during this act. Refreshed, you grab your pants and compose yourself. Get toilet paper. Okay. Open door. Five. Push button. Get bucket. Okay. Aren't you amazed by how much stuff an adventure game hero can carry? You've just got to know how to pack.
Get overalls.
You pick up the overalls. They are very small and quite worn out, not to mention filthy, and of no use to you. You toss them back on the floor. As you set them down, something falls on the floor.
Get lighter.
Okay.
One.
The door behind you closes solidly. A barrier springs up before you. Another barrier stands in your way. You feel the floor shift below you. It's moving to the left.
Put toilet paper into bucket.
Okay.
Stick plunger to wall.
Using formerly uncharacteristic creativity, you apply the suction cup-like plunger to the smooth metal finish and hang on for dear life. Once a janitor, always a janitor.
Let go of plunger.
You release your grip and drop back down.
Drop bucket. Light bucket.
While receiving a nice hosing yourself, the basket fire is extinguished. Seconds later, a loud series of pops is followed by the smell of fried electronics. The sprinklers sense accomplishment and cease operation. Your fire and subsequent shower seems to have shorted out the burnished bullies. You have just entered Vohaul's secret chamber. The evil one himself is seated before a large console high on a platform in the center of the room. Standing obliviously ready are many of the dreaded salesman clones.
So, Roger, we meet again. I must say, I'm quite impressed with your resourcefulness and tenacity. I'd love to chat, but I'm busy preparing the last of my salesman clones for their trip to Xenon. Feel free to stick around and observe the downfall of your civilization. Ha ha ha! Going somewhere? Ha ha ha!
As soon as you step on the platform, you are struck by a beam of light emitted from the unit in the ceiling. In a matter of seconds, you are broken down into microparticles and extracted from the air. Again, the beam strikes, this time blasting into a glass jar on the console. It is there that you are molecularly reconstructed in a miniaturized form.
Well, I'll be darned. My miniaturization beam does work.
Vohal's voice booms.
In the old days, I test these things on myself. But as you may have noticed by my appearance, being my own guinea pig had its disadvantages. I guess this will keep you out of my way once and for all. You'll make a nice conversation piece.
With that, Vohaul turns away to put finishing touches on Xenon's fate.
Use glass cutter.
The newly cut pane of glass falls to the counter. Apparently Vohaul doesn't notice.
Climb into vents.
You wiggle your slim carcass through the vent.
Push button.
Way to go, Roger! You've just disconnected Vohal's life support system. He's a goner without it.
Climb out.
You can see Vohaul struggling to take his last few breaths.
Not you again. Think you've won.
He wheezes.
But all you have done is seal your own fate.
He reaches up and flips a switch on the far end of the console before dropping to the floor. Dead.
Pull switch. Type enlarge.
You are once again reconstituted, this time to the correct size. You notice that the clones are gone.
Search man.
An examination of this repulsively turgid fabric-encased mass reveals nothing other than the tubes which supplied him with blood and oxygen. You do notice that the letters SHS are written in pen on the back of his left hand.
Look screen. General status. Orbit decaying. Prognosis. Terminal. Interior environment. OK. External temperature. Critical. Auxiliary operations. Clone launch go. Launch countdown. 8 minutes 30 seconds. To abort launch, enter the code below. F6 to enter the screen. SHSR. Abort granted. Open box.
You open the box and, noticing an oxygen mask, remove it and close the box.
Get mask.
Opening the box, you notice it is empty. You close it.
Wear mask.
A section of the glass tubing has fractured from the combined stress. The pressurized atmosphere rushes to the relative vacuum of space. Fortunately, wearing the mask protects you from suffocation. No longer needing the mask, you remove it to stow it for later.
Push button. 40 minutes until meltdown.
A synthesized voice cheerfully announces.
Get into escape pod.
Upon entering the escape pod, you quickly take your seat.
Press button.
Warning, emergency escape vehicle launch sequence has begun.
Launch sequence T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Phew, you're going to have to stop cutting these escapes so close, Roger. Well, you must feel pretty good right now. You've stopped Vohaul from carrying out his threat of salesman infestation, ultimately destroying the twisted scientist himself. You also managed to save your own skin, and just look at that score, pretty darned impressive. Suddenly, a warning signal draws your attention to the oxygen meter on the front panel. It reads low and dropping fast. This is just great. You know it was all too good to be true. You have maybe 5 minutes of air left. Well, Roger, it was nice knowing you.
Look.
Now you take the time to view the interior of the pod in more detail. You see a sleep chamber against one wall.
Open chamber.
You turn back the plexiglass cover.
Get into chamber.
You make the split-second decision to enter the sleep chamber. It seals automatically. Soon you are overcome by pleasant drowsiness. This certainly better than suffocating. You begin to drift away into a deep sleep with the satisfaction of having accomplished your task. You've come through in the clutch, and you deserve a nice long rest. Now if someone would just pick you up somewhere along the way. So long, Roger, and thanks again for saving your people. Thanks for playing Space Quest 2. The end. For now. Voiceover by Max Eugene, 86. And once again, thank you for watching. Enjoy the closing and have a good one.